Yo, we're slowly getting the stream started as always. If you guys been here before, stream just starting up, waiting for you guys to slowly come in here. While you guys are coming in, just do me a favor and just give me a little quick shout out. Where you from? Where you at? Where you guys represent? Obviously, we're in the wonderful fight capital world in Las Vegas. And there's a lot that we got to recap, so I'm gonna let you guys come in. We'll probably start it in probably like 3 minutes. So get your popcorn, get your snacks, get your drinks, get them fingers ready. Cause I know that you guys coming in on something. Yo, these titles, man. We're gonna get into it, right? Get into it, right? It's either this or that, right? It's either this side or that side, right? Did Gervonta punk Devin? You know? Did Benavidez duck Canelo? Or did Canelo duck Benavidez, right? So, we're gonna recap all the stuff over the weekend. So I'm just waiting for all you guys to get settled in, waiting for the chat to come together as always. We can talk a little bit about Inoue and his fight with Neri today. Of course, we can talk about Tank and Frank's press conference. And we got some stories to tell you, man. We got some stories to tell you today. And of course, lastly, if you haven't seen some of the footage, we got you, because we were there. We'll have footage, we'll have interviews, we've got some questions. So, but like I said, you guys coming in while we're getting the stream started up, just let me know where you guys are at, where you guys from, what do you guys think about this weekend, man? And I'll shout you guys out. Facts over feelings, FightHype with the titles. You already know, man. You know how this boxing game goes, man. You know, we gotta spice it up with the titles. Playboy, what is it? Playboy Brian Benavidez did not duck Canelo SMH. Yo Daddy in the building, what up, man? Mickey Jimenez, what's up, brother? Long Beach, California, shout out to Long Beach. Jay Woods, welcome back, man. One of my OGs in here, man. Like I said, we're probably gonna start this probably in like 1 or 2 more minutes. Just letting everyone just come in. Make sure you get a good seat too, man. Don't be in the way back hiding and shit. I need all you guys to engage today. I need every single one of you guys to give me you guys' opinion today. Cause we need to really indulge into this weekend. Unpack. I see someone said they're was it smoking on the Haney pack? Yeah, yo daddy? Yeah. Rose Park, why didn't Benavidez go in the ring with Canelo pointed out? That's what Rose. That's what we talk. We gonna get into that. We gonna get into this. All right. We gonna get into all of that. All right. Illuminati confirmed. What's up, brother? What's up, man? Appreciate you coming in, showing love in the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 1 more minute. Like I said, man, you guys don't want to miss this one, man. We got a lot to unpack. A lot. Let's see. All right, cool. You guys are all coming in. That's what's up. Look at you guys. You guys couldn't wait to talk about Canelo. Couldn't wait to talk about Tank Davis, right? Yes, sir. All right. Well, I don't want to make you guys wait too much, right? Because what? It's a Monday, right? People got jobs, people got work, got all that stuff. So let's get this slowly going up. So let me get this music down a little bit real quick. So first and foremost, was it Rip and Dipset Vodka Whiskey? What's up, man? C6 Mark, what's up, man? So, welcome, everyone. It's Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. One of the many guys that do, just some of the work over here at FightHype. We have an awesome collective teams of talented interviewers and editors. So, wanted to get over to you guys and kind of get this news and all this stuff. Get a little recapping together. And, none other than your boy was at the fight, right? So, can give you all the saucy details. But I didn't come alone to the stream. I did not come alone. I had to come with my man, got a partner in crime in this event. So, what's up, Bias Hype? What's up, Country Curvy? What's up, man? What's up, Country Curvy? What up? Pay attention, though. All right. But like I said, I want to let you guys know I didn't come alone today. I came with my boy, Kevin Garcia. He was also at the event. He's my partner crime at the Canelo-Munguia press conference. I mean, not press conference, the fight, and the Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank Martin press conference and all the shenanigans. So, yo, Kevin, let him know what's up, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and right before we start, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. I'm going to pull everyone up. Even my boy Country Kirby in here, right? My man. So real quick, shout out to Facts Over Feelings. He put FightHype with the title. You know what I mean? We got to sauce it up a little bit. We got to... Oh, it says, can't hear... Oh, okay. They said you were muted. They said you were muted. Okay. All right. I want to make sure. All right, cool. So shout out Facts Over Feelings. FightHype with the title. You know, we had to come with this, the saucy title. Benavidez did not duck Canelo SMH. Smoking on that. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I know why. All right. I think I fixed it. It was my end. Go ahead. We're going to do a quick introduction again. Kevin, I'm sorry. You're going to have to repeat all that again.
All right, again. I'll try to remember every word I said. Nah, look, it was a great week. There was a lot of stuff happening, during fight week in Vegas. I mean, aside from the actual event, there was a press conference on Saturday, but it seemed like every day brought a little something different, right? If it was Oscar's discourse on Canelo Wednesday, or Tank and Frank on Saturday, the fight itself, Benavidez not going in the ring. I mean, Devin and Tank, getting into it at Fontainebleau. There's a lot, man. We can go over, and we look forward to going over. And I'm reading some of these comments. And yeah, I mean, it's fight hype, not fight kumbaya. We got to hype it up a little bit, guys. So yeah, but you tell us what you think. I guess we'll go over all of it soon. So look forward to it.
Perfect. And I fixed the problem. That was my end. Sorry. But I'm just going to run through the chat real quick. And listen. I'm going to go through the chat. We're going to break this down. We're going to play a little devil's advocate in addition to this, right? But I'm going to shout everyone individually. Like I said, Facts Over Feelings. FightHype with the title. Playboy Brian. Benavidez did not duck Canelo SMH. Yo Daddy says smoking on that Devin Haney pack. Mickey Jimenez says Benavidez will KO Canelo. He represent Long Beach, California. Jay Woods, yeah, buddy. Yo Daddy, Tank Ryan, and Tank. I think you mean say Tank and Ryan about to get suspended for bullying Devin. Rose Park. Why didn't Benavidez go into the ring when Canelo pointed? Right? See, right? Kuluminati confirmed. Shout out to you. Rippin' Dipset says vodka and whiskey. My boy KG said whiskey. All right.
Facts.
K6 Mark. Canelo beat is the best at 168. Pay attention though. I just farted, so Devin's scared. Country Kirby, what's up? Bias Hype, what's up, man? What's up, Country Kirby? Appreciate you in here. J7, Canelo wasn't calling Benavidez inside the ring. He was calling on the guy who walked him out. All right. C6, I think shouted out. Yada. Isaac Bauman, what's up? 03 North. Canelo has the worst resume in boxing. David Benavidez has accomplished more than Canelo? I don't know, man. 7 Belief. The fuck you mean Benavidez duck Canelo? Fuck out of here. Country Mosey, Triple G, and Laura. Mike Thrill, baby, say clickbait like a motherfucker. Listen, guys. Listen. Let me go straight to the right before going. Let me play the devil's advocate, right? Because there's two ways. I've heard two things from this footage that came out, right? So I'm going to show it to you guys, right here, all right? I don't know if you guys saw it. You guys make your own determination, right? Did David Benavidez miss an opportunity to come into the ring? We got this footage of Canelo, who's looking in the direction of David. David's smiling at Canelo. He's nodding, he's coming over here. And Canelo Rightfully so. Let's see. He's drinking a little bit right here, and he's pointing. Who is he pointing at? Is he pointing at David, or is he pointing at his man? What my man saying here? He said, where is he? He said he was pointing at the guy to walk him out. So what is it? I need to know. Did David Benavidez duck an opportunity to come into the ring and look at Canelo Alvarez like, what's up? All right. While the chat kind of gets that going, what do you think, Kevin? You think David Benavidez ducks the smoke, or did he just miss a great opportunity just to get in the ring and just make something special?
I think David, like his personality and everything about it from being around him is pretty chill. He seems like a chill guy. Like he's not the type to talk a lot of shit or like, I'll beat Canelo's ass. I think he's just standing on business in terms of how he feels. Like, look, I want to fight. I think I can beat him. I think these other guys aren't on my level. I think I'm the best guy to fight him at 168. So I don't know. I think humility might have got him. Like he was just cool. Like he was being cool instead of like really seizing the moment. I mean, if I were David Benavidez, I'd have been jumping over people's chairs because that was his opportunity to get in front of Canelo while all the eyeballs were there and put Canelo on the spot. And it seemed, I mean, somebody said that he was inviting Luis Conriquez in the ring, the guy that walked him out, right? I don't know. I can't tell from the video. But if I were David, I would have took it like he was talking to me. Not have been in that ring. Because what other opportunities are you going to have to put Canelo on the spot like that when it matters most? But a lot of these guys, man, like I saw a video, not to get off topic too much, but Berlanga's pushing that fight too. And there was a video of like Berlanga in the hallway and he's like shaking Canelo's hand and like real friendly. And I'm like, do you guys want the fight? Right? Like Jaime Munguia, I don't know. Canelo gets a lot of reverence from these guys. And if they're looking to make the fight, I think David missed that opportunity for sure.
Now, I want to shout out to Joey Jingle, right? And I'm going to go through everyone in the chat. But he put in here, I think, 2 times already. And I want to highlight, right? This is why you guys are hearing. It's instrumental because I need you guys to be part of this conversation. It's not 2 guys just chatting right now. It's us chatting with y'all and y'all chatting with us, right? I've seen a couple like, man, change the title. Look, that's what y'all here for, to kind of come in. And Joey Jingle says, look, he already said security was tight and they wouldn't let him in there. All right. Now, granted, we were at the fight. We didn't get to hear the broadcast and all that stuff, right? So if that's the case, right, is that just, kind of just Canelo then just teasing him, right? Just, come on, what's up? Knowing that David just can't come in. Like, like that wasn't, you think that's a possibility?
But Canelo's the guy. So if Canelo's calling you, right? And like he's calling me. Why not just I don't know. Maybe that's true. I didn't see an attempt. I didn't see him trying to push over, right? Excuse me, can I get in there? Like, and again, that's not a knock on David. He's a little bit more chill, I guess, in that sense. But most fans wanted to see him try to do that. So
absolutely. And a quick, like I said, right before I get to the chat, and obviously super chats take priority, right? So I always got to get to them first. Daniel Navarrete, my boy, you already knew I was out there trying to ask, right? I was out there asking. He was the one that wanted me to ask Canelo what his thoughts on David Benavidez saying buy some nuts for not after the $150 and $200 million response. But he says Canelo was simply copying what Benavidez's cousin was doing, pointing. There's an other view that shows that. Okay, all right. So when you mean like he was just copying what Benavidez's cousin was doing, like his cousin was like, come here, and then Canelo was like, no, you come here. Like, is that what's kind of going on? Like, or was it just kind of like a point, if you can elaborate a little bit, Daniel, just so we don't miss anything, right? There's a lot of stuff to unpack, and I want to make sure that you guys, from the stuff you guys seen that we might have missed, to kind of make sure we go over. But I want to go through the chat real quick. Angel Flores says Canelo is ducking Benavidez for half a decade and had him threatened with fines. If he went. Oh, he would have threatened him with a fine if he went into the ring. JB Holmes says Canelo's ducking Benavidez. Quack quack. 7B Life. My man on the left look like a fake Dougie Fisher. Motherfucking Snuggie Fishnuts. Damn, bro. Damn, man. What I do to you, bro? What I do to you, man?
I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is, Ron.
No, I've gotten called Dougie Fisher at times, man. Quick super chat for Craig Williams, $1.99, $2. I appreciate you, brother. feel free to
Hold
put a
on.
message in there.
Shout out to Craig. That's actually one of my peoples.
Oh, word?
Craig, good looking, bro. Thanks for the support. Yeah.
Oh man, shout out to you, man. Um, always appreciate the love, man. V Kensuki, they hate Gervonta because he's the realest. 100. 030 North says David Benavidez is one of the best boxers from Dominican Republic. Okay, this my man is trolling right now.
Facts.
Country Kirby says nobody's KOing Canelo, but I think he does beat Canelo. Ripman Dip says, "How are you a duck? But are you the? But essentially said, but you are the face of boxing, right? I think that's what he's saying. Playboy says, change the title, crying emoji. I mean, this is maybe there should have been a question mark, right? Maybe there was a question mark right there. Angel Flores comes says Canelo. If Canelo doesn't fight Benavidez, Canelo's ranked behind Butterbean all time. Damn, you think you real quick right before I continue? Yo, Kev, do you think like the criticism is valid that Canelo's getting from the Benavidez, right? Do you feel at this point, is it just the anticipation that this is the guy you have to fight, or is it just simply like you just duck and smoke? Like we ain't happy with the competition you've been with.
You know, I think about it a number of ways, right? Like the fan in me, yeah, I get bothered like everybody else in the chat who's bothered by the fact that the fight's not happening, right? The fan in me, I want to see the fight, right? And I get it. Like it's the fight that we all want to see at 168, right? David Benavidez has ran through everybody. You know, Canelo's the guy there, obviously a legend, Hall of Famer. What's going to happen if they face each other, right? So from that side, I'm like, yeah, why don't we make the fight? But then from the other side of it, I look at it from Canelo's standpoint, and I'm just being honest, right? Some people might not like it, but look, I love Mayweather too. But Floyd, when he was in control, he fought who he wanted. And when you're in control of things, you have the right to make certain decisions. You know, I was watching, I don't know if it was ESPN or somebody earlier, but I was watching like some recap of the fight, and they were like, you know, the business of boxing is broken, blah, 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 right? And there might be merit to that, right? And in some ways, this is what happens in boxing, where you don't always, as a fan, get the fight that you want. So it sucks. It really does. And I hope he does fight David Benavidez. Again, it's the fight that should be made. I don't know that he's ducking him. I think Canelo just feels like risk reward, right? Do I keep cashing these big bags and fighting guys that I feel like if that makes him a duck, so be it. I guess if I was in that position and I can do the same thing, well, you know, what would I do, right? What would you do? If you're able to make 60, 70 million fighting Jaime Munguia, right? Or take that same challenge on fighting Benavidez. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's some duck to it in terms of he's not fighting him, but is he like scared? No, I don't see that, man. I don't think he's scared of Benavidez. I think Canelo thinks he can beat Benavidez 100%. Do we see it? That's a whole nother story, right? Does it happen? That's a whole nother story.
Now, getting to the chat real quick. Simon, I want to make sure Learbeer, Canelo's the best fighter from Duckland. I think KO Tick Hip says hooked in by the title. I mean, you know, look. I know there's a lot of people coming in saying like, look, the duck, it's Canelo. Look, it's just a matter of just an opinion, right? But the thing we're highlighting is a specific clip, and it's really more of a question to kind of reel you guys in. You know how this thing works. But really, we're here to just dissect it. But I appreciate you coming in. 030 North says David Benavidez best resume in boxing. Craig Williams gave you a shout out, man. Shout out to the Puerto Rican Kid KG, man. We're gonna go through a lot of interviews. I mean, if you noticed this week, my man did a lot of great interviews, so definitely check it out. 030 North says, he's repeating. Angel Flores, Benavidez has not done more than Canelo, but his first feat will be demolishing Canelo. God dang. I agree. Like, the whole entire respect that I think is forgotten often with Canelo is that his resume is like a top-notch resume in boxing. So I think people quickly forget. And I know that we really want the Benavidez fight, but this is a fair, opinion if you feel that David Benavidez will win. Simon Lieber also goes, Canelo's the best in avoiding good boxers. So
we got a super chat in there. I don't know if you see that.
You saw what?
We got a super chat from Daniel.
Oh, okay. My bad. It's so much. I gotta speed through this chat. Then I gotta write. Appreciate looking out. Like I said, super chats get priority. Daniel Never says if Canelo wanted David in the ring, he wouldn't have stuttered and got booed trying to swerve the David name during the interview and had him go in the ring. Okay, so chat. I need you guys to. What did you guys? Because I didn't hear the post interview because we ran around to get post fight interviews. Like, you know, when you see the little interviews on FightHype after the fight, we're like, yo, what do you think about this? And what do you? So I didn't actually get a chance to really hear that portion. Me and Kevin went elsewhere to go get the reaction. So if that's the case, then the fans are speaking on it, right? That's the. If you know, personally, I'm a hardcore fight fan, and I think Kevin can maybe agree with this. But if you're the man, and you want to shut the critics up, you tell them get in the ring, like bring that mother effer in the ring, and now the onus is on them, which is kind of what this clip that we're seeing is. This Canelo pointing at David and saying get in here and get in the ring, right? So.
Or is he baiting? I wish there was another video out there, like a different angle, because you know I think Daniel said there was like a whole nother video. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But was he baiting? Was he knowingly inviting him to the ring with, you know, the understanding that he wouldn't get in? Like he wasn't gonna get in the ring or give him the space, right? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Interesting though.
And Ruben O says Benavidez is a solid boxer, but he really doesn't have many achievements. He would just be another notch on his belt. I would agree. And that would be the fight to get Benavidez over, and then that would just be there's another fighter underneath the many people that Canelo was supposed to fight, and he won. David Benavidez, let's see. Canelo is the best in choosing bad fighters to fight, from Simon Learbeer. Ruben says Canelo will fight him. He's building it up in order to max the profit from the event. Maximum M. Luna, what's up? He said he was talking to Benavidez. Simon Learbeer comes back. Canelo's the best in thinking using steroids won't get him caught. Ouch. Maxim says he signaled Benavidez to get in the ring and he didn't do anything. So Maxim, do you think Benavidez was ducking Canelo? Angel Flores says Bud should pass on Canelo. Bud is the best fighter in my generation. The goal is to do one more defense and retire. Bud over Mayweather. Bud is a better boxer than Canelo. He don't need to prove anything. Ruben comes says, I also don't think Canelo wanted to knock out Jaime since he's a Mexican boxer as well. He wanted to build him and not crush him. We'll get through the chat and we're going to touch on some of that stuff real soon. Klumai says, gotta have the clickbait titles. Gotta have the clickbait titles, right? Simon Lieber says, Canelo Alva trash. Jeez. Joey Jingle says, agreed. I actually agree with you. Country Kermit says they would have let Benavidez in. Craig Williams says facts. Angel Canelo don't want the Bud smoke. Angel comes and says Canelo can call him on paper, homie. Don't get it twisted. Cowdy, what up, FightHype fan? What's up? Big homie says David was nervous. David Benavidez knockout Better Beef and Wilder easy 030 North. Canelo knocks out Bud too small. Chill. Daniel Navarrete says, yes, exactly. I think you might have been agreeing at a point with you. David's thinking, after all the times I called you out and been mandatory for 3 years, now you want to talk to me after I officially moved up. 030, did Mr. Henderson, Nevada get punked? I think he's talking about Devin. The fight is with Bud. Initially, Canelo told some guys that he knew to get in the ring, and then later he signaled Benavidez to get in the ring. That's what it looked like from the second video. Daniel says the cousin was the start of the point there. Why then Canelo started pointing his way. Klumai says Dougie Fisher is a legend. Dougie Fisher Jr. Munguia has heart, but absolutely nothing else. You're in good company. Angel Flores says Canelo will knock out Bud. Not at Bud's weight, right? Come back down, Canelo. You're already sunned by Bivol. I'm gonna read a little bit more, and I'm kind of go back and kind of into the recap of the night. Canelo was pointing at Benavidez. If this is the case, he would have addressed it in the interview. And if Benavidez went in that ring, would have gotten embarrassed or blocked by security, and Canelo would have laughed. David Straight should have just cemented his own legacy. Stop looking for Canelo. I'm sure they will eventually make the fight, just trying to max out the profit. David Benavidez has a better resume than Canelo and Floyd. I heard Canelo didn't let Eric Morales and Marquez attend the fight, so I doubted he wanted David up there with him. Really? Did you hear anything about this, Kevin?
No. I'm pretty sure. I know about it. I was there. I'm pretty sure I saw Morales at one point too. I'm almost positive I saw Morales.
Okay.
I'm like 99% sure I saw Morales, but I could be wrong. There was a lot happening after the fight, but I'm almost positive. I saw Morales at one point. Someone was like, "Oh, Morales," and I was like, caught up doing something else.
I feel like I might have saw Morales, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know you interviewed Barrera coming into the
Yeah.
so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got Barrera, but almost positive somebody pointed out Morales to me. I think I was just busy, but I don't know if that was inside or outside. That's interesting though.
C6 Mark says facts rumen. Joshua says, what up, Joshua T? David wasn't even being talked to. Canelo was just talking to Peso Puma, who was right in front of David. SMH. See, that's what a couple people said, man. Some people said he wasn't even looking at David. It's crazy. Canelo doesn't want to die, so fighting Terrence or Benavidez is no option. Canelo wants to live. Ron G. Peace Pound, what up, Fixed Electronics? Canelo never lost in his life. All right, I think that's a troll.
Had me laughing.
Which one? Which comment?
Read the next comment.
Blood and blue look like Blueface baby mama.
Yo, you killing me. You killing me. Damn. All right, fuck it. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. I don't know what she is. Maybe we got some similarities. Whatever.
All right. Prioritizing the super chat. GM $2 super chat. Appreciate. Tell us Haney Garcia pay-per-view numbers, man. I think you might have been in the last chat where I was they were trying to dig for numbers, man. How come no one else put numbers out? Why? I'm not the numbers guy, all right? I just know it just didn't do I can say it didn't do better than Tank and Ryan. But that's an obvious take, all right? That's very obvious, so. GM, look, when some numbers come out, which they should have been kind of coming out, I'll play that game.
They put out numbers. But yeah.
Which one? Eddie? Because that's cap.
Yeah, for sure. We know that.
That's cap. Don't believe Eddie's numbers, right? That's not true. So, but, I'll say one thing real quick on the pay-per-view stuff. Pay-per-view, usually, if it's successful, they want to get the numbers out. They want to get the numbers out. And if there is kind of like a way to make it sound good, they'll still send out an email to the media or some sort of something. They will literally, this is what they do. They literally go to some media outlets. They give them some sort of number, if it's true or not, and they want them to push it out. And that's kind of one of the float it out. Then someone might combat it and say, no, that isn't true. So GM says, come on, man, them numbers never coming out, man. Look, at some point, GM, I got you. I just don't. I'm in a seat of hearsay, right? I'm hearing it from secondhand stuff, so I'm not the direct source. So I don't like to essentially create rumors and things like that, because essentially this is kind of like a rumor mill. So I want to put a little more respect on it, but I can tell you confidently, it did not do better at all than Ryan and Tank, and it did not do what Eddie claimed it did. 030 North, David Benavidez will not get Deontay Wilder. Appreciate you, Fixed Electronic. Ron's one of the best in the business. Canelo's the best in calling people out after they just left the weight division. Angel says, think about it. 47-0 Munguia was the fight that nobody wanted. When Benavidez was 26-0, I think he gets this much buzz. That tells you that Benavidez is the fan fight, the logical fight, and the money fight. I'm going to read a couple more, and then I'm going to come to you, Kevin, on just your thoughts on Canelo's performance against Munguia. Because we were at the fight. You got to see it. So Mike Trill says, Mike Trill, baby, I never seen a duck so clear. Man wanted $200 million. Maximum M. Lewin says Benavidez only fights old 160-pounders. People act like he's the boogeyman. Okay, I've heard that a lot. These fights blown up small middleweights. Benavidez is the money fight now, Country Kirby says. Bambino says, is Terrence ducking boots? But no one mentions that. Nobody mentions that. Nah, people mention that. Trust me, there's a lot of that going on. I'm going to read a couple more, and then I'm going to Kev. Canelo might fight Benavidez. He was talking to Turkey on Saturday. Isn't Jamal next for Canelo? There was a little post. Jamal, one on Instagram, said he was next. Edward Torres says, Canelo keeps saying we've demanded Laura Trout and Billy Joe. Straight bullshit. All we've ever demanded is Triple G and David. Benavidez is the fighter of the Mexican fans. Benavidez' best win was against Plant, and that's it. Ram X27 Canelo has 60 fights, 2 losses, 39 KOs. That's a throwback fighter from the 1950s. He has big 15 names at least. And lastly, Simon Lieber, Mexican fans retired Canelo. So I'm going to take a break right there. Yo, Kevin, we were at the fight. what was your honest thoughts on how Canelo looked at T-Mobile? And then honest, like keep it a buck. From starting, I know you a real one. I know you a real one. So let him know what you think.
No, for sure. Yo, I thought Canelo, honestly, I thought he looked solid. I thought, he did. Look, Jaime was overmatched. Canelo's got a lot of experience, and he showed it in the ring, right? Jaime had it like the first couple rounds, like most fights with most great elite fighters, it's just downloading. He's calculating, figuring it out. But by like the end of round 2, going into round 3, I knew, unless like barring a miracle, that Canelo had complete control of the fight. He was doing what he needed to do. He was avoiding a lot of Jaime shots. He had a nice tight high guard like he normally does. It just looked like Jaime was trying to land those hooks, and Canelo saw them coming from around the corner. They were really slow. He was able to get out of the way, land his shots, really put the leather on Jaime. And from, I guess, because of course we were covering the fight, right? So I'm watching the fight, but I'm also getting in position to do work after the fight ends. So there were parts of it that I didn't fully see. And one of the things that kind of escaped me a little bit, and this is like a hot topic today, is was he carrying Jaime, right? Was he carrying Jaime? And the more I look back at it, I can tell you, the more I feel like he was a little bit. Like, he gave him breaks, where he could have really pushed the action. He said that in the post-fight press conference. He said, and it kind of took me aback because I thought it was a crazy thing to say to the fight fans. Like, oh, like if I wanted to end it, I could have. Well, then why didn't you, right? Because that's what everybody paid their money to see. But did Canelo look good? Yeah, I thought he looked good. I mean, look, his last fight was against Jermell, right? And he controlled that fight. Most would say Jermell was overmatched and undersized in that fight. And he controlled it. He looked pretty good, but he didn't finish Jermell either. And, again, Jermell was moving around a lot, keeping that guard nice and tight. Jaime was bringing the action, and I think he handled it well. I don't think he struggled at all in the fight. I don't think, it didn't look like he lost a step to me or anything like that. He looked sharp. I don't think, honestly, we'll know where Canelo's at now until he takes a tough fight. And who is that tough fight? Well, Benavidez is what most would say, right? But if not Benavidez, then who? I mean, Bud, right? If he fights Bud, is that a tough fight? Is Bud too small for him? Is that another Jermell situation, right? Jermell fights, or at least until August 3rd, has fought at a higher weight. But overall, I think he looked good, man. I didn't see a lot of slippage or him being caught easy or slow or losing a little bit of power. He hurt Jaime. He was able to move like he wanted to. His defense was sharp. He saw everything coming. He took advantage of an opponent who was tailor-made for him. Just the facts.
All right, I want to get to the $2 super chat from Free Smoke, and I appreciate you, Kevin. For everyone who's just coming in, it's my man Kevin, who helped cover the fight with me over the week. Free Smoke put a $2 super chat. What would be good pay-per-view numbers for that fight? I mean, let's keep it real. In this digital streaming era, I think anything over 1 million is great, right? Because there's so much bootlegging. And I really believe that Canelo and David Benavidez is one of those fights that can clear the 1 million mark and probably even surpass it. How much? I don't know, right? I guess it just depends on the state of, do they fight where David's undefeated still and Canelo is still kind of taking these fights and hasn't taken a loss. So I think that fight's so big, and I don't want to bring race and nationality too much into, but outside of just boxing fans, that's a really strong countryman fight, right? And I think the Mexican, the Hispanic community is a very strong, supportive community in the boxing community, and they will spend their hard-earned money on there, as well as the boxing community, from every culture. So I think that's just one of those monumental fights historically and culturally. So I think it clears 1 million. Would you agree with Kev? Would you comfortably feel like everyone would spend their hard-earned money on that?
I don't doubt that it could clear 1 million. I mean, obviously, I think there's a bottom. I don't think it does anything less than 600,000, right? But did it clear 1 million? I don't know. It could. Look, the fight was packed. It was Cinco de Mayo. Fight fans, Mexican fight fans, obviously are going to support. I don't see why not. Streaming plays a part in that. So yeah, but if there's a fight that would have done it, it's a Canelo fight on Cinco de Mayo. Why not? Yeah, it's likely. We'll see. I'm interested in seeing.
I think you playing too nice, man. 600. I don't even hear 600,000.
600, bro. Look.
You tripping.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, was it really that great of a fight?
No, I'm talking about we're talking about Canelo-Benavidez. Like,
Oh, of course it clears a
what would
million.
be good
I thought you
pay-per-views
were
for
talking about
that fight?
Munguia. Yeah, I thought you were
No,
talking about
because
Munguia.
he
My bad.
said that fight. We know what. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. Yeah, Canelo-Benavidez, definitely. I think it clears a million. I thought you were asking me, did this
Oh, okay.
last weekend
Yeah,
clear a million? I don't know. Like
Well,
600,000 last weekend is what I would guesstimate, maybe something like that. But yeah, Benavidez, Canelo, yeah, clears a mil. All right, here's a question for you, right? And nobody wants to see this fight, but I don't know. Looks like it could happen. You think?
well,
Gervonta-
real quick. Your
Go
boy
ahead,
jumped in. Your boy Craig Williams did $2 super chat. Like I said, we prioritize the super chat. They interrupt the flow. He says, Canelo show weakness that Bud would exploit. What do you think, Kev?
Ooh, I mean, what weakness, Craig? Right? Like, I didn't see a weakness in. I mean, what he's got a solid chin. He's got good defense. I mean, look, like we call a spade a spade. I love Bud. I think Bud's awesome, and I would love to see that fight personally because I like Bud. But I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's hard to say that. Like I don't know. I can't call it till I see it. But does Bud have the skills? Yeah. Does Bud have the power at his weight class for sure? Can he carry it up to 168? Interesting, right? We don't know. But Bud thinks so. I asked him after the fight. Saw him in the hallway and I said, "Yo, did you see any opportunities that you think you could exploit if you fought Canelo?" And he said, "A lot." All right, there you go. So we'll see.
How about this? How about instead of just talking about, why don't we show the interaction? Because we did get Bud, right? Like we're in the hallway. You saw that. Almost like, how'd you know it was Bud? Was there you just saw like a big old one above his head? Did you see a pound for pound one just floating in the crowd? That's what it was.
That's what it was. Somebody else said something really cool. You pulled that up. It's a little while ago. They were like, "Oh God, I gotta find it." There you go. It's gotta be like right here. It was after I started talking about it. It was C6 Mark Contreras. Laugh my ass off, bro. Bud ain't hurting Canelo. Canelo will hurt Bud. We won't know till we see it. I mean, I can see why you say that. And, you have something to stand on, right? Like, Bud's a 147 pounder, never fought above that weight. Canelo's fought in 3 different weight divisions in the last 5 years, right? So, like, yeah, I see why you say that, but we won't know till we know.
All right, well, let's play what Bud thought right after the fight, right?
Hey, Bud, it's Kevin with FightHype, Bud. What you thought about that fight?
It was a good fight. Munguia showed his heart, determination.
Yes.
He just wasn't stepping in. Canelo kind of looked like he carried him, though.
What do you think about that fight in terms of you fighting Canelo? Did you see opportunities for yourself?
Most definitely.
What kind?
A lot. You had to see the fight, but Canelo did good. Munguia did good. It was a good fight.
All right, Terrence, man, you're the best. Yo, appreciate you, Bud.
All right, so that's what Terrence said, right? He said he carried Munguia. Damn, he carried him. Didn't want to hurt his countryman, right? That's pretty much. So I'm gonna quickly get to the chat. There's another $2 super chat. Daniel Navarrete says, let me post it up right here. Canelo versus Benavidez Fields Alliance Stadium. Damn. I don't know, man. That's a big ass stadium. And as much as I love Canelo and Benavidez, like, I feel like that's like Floyd coming out of retirement fighting Gervonta Davis, kind of big to fill that motherfucker up. That's a big stadium, but that's pretty much what it is, right? Real quick, I'm gonna shoot at some of the comments that's like, that title's ridiculous. Fanboys posing as journalists. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, we definitely were at the fight, and we definitely had some clips. And asking you guys, did David Benavidez duck Canelo? Did he not get into the ring? And that's what we're breaking down in the chat, right? You see right there, David's looking at Canelo. Canelo's going over there. There's all different type of stories, right? Some people said David couldn't go in the ring because of security. Some people said Canelo wasn't even looking at David. He was looking at other people. Other people said David's cousin was pointing and Canelo started pointing back. Is this a clear sign of Canelo saying, look, get in the ring. Get in the ring, right? And when people saw this clip, they were torn. See, he's pointing. Is that a sense of come in the ring? And David's just kind of just like, hey, I'm just trying to be humble and respectful? or was it just you guys tell me, right? That's what this is about, right? That's what this is about. And I know there's a couple comments. We're gonna go through the chat, but there's a couple of those. So you tell me. You tell us. Another super chat from Daniel already, but can think all he wants. Canelo walks through him, right? I mean, size matters, right? $5 super chat. Jesse, ice dough, right? I want to make sure I said that right because you're icy. I don't want Canelo fighting Bud. It's a lose-lose situation for Canelo, and I agree, right? Would you agree with that, Kevin? Like, what does he get for beating a guy? He's supposed to beat a guy 3 divisions, technically now 2 divisions smaller than him, versus, like, if he loses, he's not gonna get the credit.
What does he get if he beats Benavidez? I mean,
what do you mean? What do he gets?
We just talked about this a little while ago, right? It's another guy on the long list, and then what's gonna happen is retroactively, in hindsight, people gonna roll out the David Benavidez box rec and say, well, his record before this fight wasn't. So I don't know. What is a non-lose? Like, what's a non-lose? Bivol? Is that it? Is that the fight where we say, all right, like, this guy is a guy that's on your level. He's beat you before, but nobody wants to see that. So I think it's a lose-lose if he gives David all that opportunity and he loses, right? Loses all the belts, not known as the best Mexican anymore. Loses the clout. Imagine he gets beat really bad. That's never happened to Canelo. If he fights Bud, same thing. So I think it's like there's a lot of risk. It's boxing. You got to take some risk.
Now adding to this, right? Because I know I'm reading the chat, right? And I think there's a lot of mixed feelings on this topic, right? I'm one of those people who definitely wants David Benavidez Canelo, right? I want to get that out there. I want that fight, just like you guys, right? So with this footage that has been out, and you're seeing David looking very respectful and poised and smile, like, you know what I mean? And some people might interpret this as David might be, quote unquote, his energy is duckish, right? But maybe he's just trying to be respectful, right? Maybe he's trying to go a respectful route like Munguia did. And I did get a chance to ask Canelo after the fight, right? And this is what Canelo told me.
Satisfacciones. Les voy a seguir pagando y muy agradecido siempre.
If David was a little bit more respectful instead of like talking trash, would that help a little bit in making the fight instead of like saying like buy something?
200 million.
200 million still? It's still 200 million? No, okay.
So I asked him, if he was a little more nicer and just give us the fight, right? I'm done with the antics. I'm not gonna trash talk. Canelo still doubles down on that. $200 million. Now the other question, let's flip it around. Is Canelo ducking Benavidez for $200 million? Is that rightfully so? Can he make those demands? Or is that ridiculous? Is that too much? Is that pricing himself out? Kevin, what do you think?
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I get it. Canelo, you deserve to call shots. You deserve to make the money, but a $200 million guarantee? Did Floyd, when he was in his prime, like really running shit, selling fucking, 1.5s, like it was nothing? Did he ever cough? And I get it, inflation, different times, whatever you want to go to, but $200 million? Like, how do you pay anybody else? How do you do anything else with that kind of budget on guaranteed money? I don't know. I think it's nuts. And yeah, I think if somebody like Turkey really came and said, yeah, we'll give you the 200 million, I think Canelo would take the fight. But I feel like Canelo he's going to do what he has to do to make sure he's in the absolute best financial position if he takes the risk. And that should tell you, no matter what he says, what he thinks of David as an opponent. Because if you need that much money to fight somebody, you feel like it's risky. Simon said something before, just caught my eye. Simon Learbeer. I hope I'm saying that right, Simon. But you asked what was the point of asking him to come up into the ring when he moved up. I asked David, like, specifically, you just went up to 175, you have a big fight. Is it your intention to go back down if the Canelo fight's there? And he said, yeah. So I don't think that makes a difference right now, Simon, but I understand why you would ask. But anyway, getting back to it, yeah, it's too much money, man. It's too much money to ask for guarantees. It's ridiculous, and he's definitely pricing himself out. And it may be intentional, whether we want to hear that or not, right?
Absolutely.
Right,
and, it is. Alex says you want the match, throw the bag at him, right? So I guess another fair question is, Did Canelo ask for $200 million for Jaime Munguia? Did he ask $200 million for Jamel Charlo? So, why is it $200 million for David Benavidez, right? Does Canelo know that this is a tough fight? Or he's like, this is a fight that I can get some money, some easy money. What do you think?
No, it's a tough fight. I think he knows it's a tough fight, or at least he's got to think it, right? Look, he's a fighter. Canelo has got big heart. I mean, look, I don't have to sell anybody on Canelo. And if you guys don't think that, then, say, hey, I'm sorry, but I would have to disagree with you. Canelo ain't scared. I don't think he's scared. I think it's like anything else in life. If you got to measure the risk reward. And he feels like this is risky. There's some level of risk to this where I don't think Canelo thought twice for a second about Jaime Munguia. Like, can I beat this guy? He knew. He just knew, right? He believed it to his core. Same thing with Jamel and Billy Joe Saunders and the Smith brothers and whoever else you want to put on that piece of paper. He felt, I think this is the first time in a long time, maybe since Floyd. I mean, we'd have to look at the fighters. I don't know that there's a guy that's probably made Canelo think twice in his mind to say, I don't know. I don't know how this one goes exactly, right? There's risk here. Yeah, I think he understands the moment. It's a big one. David's a big dude, and he hits really hard.
I mean, we got, in the chat, Ruben says, it's not the risk, it's the supply and demand. And business is business. So many people asking for it. Rossetti also says, he said 150, then he switched up fast to 200. He just 200, no more 150, right? The price went up after the Munguia fight. I'm going to get through the chat a little bit because I want to make sure that everyone feels included. And then we're going to close up on this, and we're going to switch towards, obviously, the Gervonta and Frank Martin press conference we covered, in addition to there was some stuff going on in the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas where similar, same thing, kind of like the title, did Gervonta Davis punk Devin Haney, right? There's a clip that we'll play that they met up face to face, and you see visibly they're going into it, and then Devin goes essentially in his car. Doesn't mean he was essentially punked, but was that Gervonta's energy trying to punk? Did he punk him out of it? Was Devin just trying to look, shit ain't even worth it? We'll get into that subject, but we're just going to just kind of clarify the last couple stuff on the Canelo-Benavidez stuff and get your guys' thoughts on this. Why didn't Benavidez step into the ring Saturday? Wasn't he supposed to walk in there and call him out? Canelo pointed at him. Dude just stood there and just smiled. Benavidez and Gashek's a great fight. Top fight. Canelo's the best in being hard from outside and soft from inside. Rose Park said, let's compare Benavidez' top 3 opponents to Canelo. Benavidez should just fight Belenga to get that fight. Benavidez needs to understand it's a privilege to fight a superstar like Canelo. At Canelo's career, he can just call the shots. Simon, okay, there's some trolling going on. And Belenga also, he does not deserve the Canelo shot unless he KOs Caleb Plant in a quicker fashion. Belenga is a baby food for Canelo, nothing more. And you were by that altercation also with Edgar and Plant, so we'll get into that a little later. All we were ever demand is Triple G and David. Edwards says. That's all. We didn't ask for all this. We just asked for Triple G and David Benavidez. Simon says, Canelo's the best in shitting his pants when caught up by a real monster. If Benavidez wants Canelo, get that old-fashioned way, become Canelo's mandatory. Hold on. I think the chat can agree. He's been in a position of mandatory, right, for it. But at the same time, I think at 168, did not David had the belt 2 times? David had the belt 2 times, and he lost the belt for one, failing essentially a drug test. So they stripped him, and the second one was missing weight. So is it, at some point, is this David Benavidez' fault for not getting the Canelo fight because Canelo wanted to be undisputed? Or you think just Canelo wouldn't even cared about undisputed? I want you to think on that, Kevin, because I'm going to get to the super chat, and I want you to answer that.
Sure.
Daniel Navarrete says, he's a fighter. Excuses BS. He's human. He fears Benavidez. When Canelo brings up his resume, he's basically shining old trophies. $5 super chat. Daniel, you're the super chat god. That's what I'm going to call you now, right? But what do you think? Do you feel that David, this is really David's fault, why the Canelo fight, it just hasn't happened, period?
Well, I don't know that it's David's fault. I think he's been in position a few times, like you said, and maybe could have happened that way. But let me ask you a question. I got to check my timeline here. When Canelo went up to 175, because he takes that first belt, right?
From Kovalev, the WBO?
Mm-hmm. At 168, right?
Oh, okay. Who are you talking about when he went to 168? Got it.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to figure out when he goes up to 175 and he for Bivol and all that stuff, where was David at that point? Was he stripped already? Because it felt like Canelo came back down and swooped everything up when it got open real quick, right? In like that year. So I don't know.
Well, David was the WBC champion at the time, right? And this is during COVID, right? And David mentioned that during like the bubble and the environment, it just was kind of not the greatest environment to cut weight. So essentially, he lost his belt on the scale. From that point, the belt becomes vacant, and Canelo gets a straight opportunity to fight Yildirim for the vacant title. So from that point, David becomes the interim champion, essentially waiting to be enforced as a mandatory. And yeah, so that's pretty much how that played out. And, you know, some people felt that the only reason why Canelo went straight to the vacant title is because it was vacant, and it was Yildirim, right? A guy Chris Eubank easily dispatched and got out of there. And so then when he got that belt, he went on the tour to try to be undisputed and ended it with Caleb Plant. And they have yet to enforce some sort of WBC mandatory for David Benavidez for that belt. You know, he's just chilling there right now.
Yeah, no, I remember it was December. I was in San Francisco for the Devin Haney fight. And I saw Mauricio Suleiman, president of the WBC, and I asked him, I mean, look, I asked him really direct. I put him on the spot, and I did everything but say, are you going to make this happen, you know, next year? And he alluded to it being a fight that needed to happen, but it just, the vibes that I got, whether Mauricio would own that or not, was that, look, it's what Canelo says, right? It didn't seem like he was going to push him. Why? So, Demars, please follow up with another comment. FightHype so bullshit. Y'all know damn well David ain't ducking no smoke. Well, maybe you came into the chat late, Demars. It was really just a question for you guys, right? David was invited into the ring, and he what appears like was an invite, right? We can't tell. We can't see 100% clearly what was happening there, but it looked like an invite. So we're asking you guys, did he miss that opportunity? Did he duck the opportunity to go into the ring? So we talked about that for a while, but anyway, that just kind of caught my attention. Yeah, I don't know, Ron. I don't know that David did it to himself, because who's to say that if he was the 168-pound champion that Canelo would have said, okay, you know, I'm going to fight him for the belt, and not just gone a different route about it, or not try to unify, or, you know, just, or excuse me, not try to go undisputed and maybe just unify some of the other sanctioning bodies. I don't know. I don't know that Canelo looks at a fight with David Benavidez as one that he wants, right? He may be pushed into the position by, like what somebody said earlier, which is supply and demand, right? The fans want it. He keeps hearing all the, you know, the rumors, or excuse me, the whispers out there of him needing to make the fight happen, and it happens that way. But I don't think Canelo, again, not that he's scared, just think he looks at it like, is it worth the risk? Is it really worth the risk for me at this point? I don't know. I wish, as a fight fan, that, you know, the fight fan in me says, yes, do it. But, you know, Canelo's going to make his own decisions. Hopefully they benefit the fans that want to see it at some point. We'll see.
All right, I'm going to speed run through the chat, so it's going to probably be a little, but I'm going to read through all the chat, and we're going to move on to the next topic. They say, they're saying Canelo versus Crawford for December. I've seen that report. Isn't Canelo going to fight Jamal Charlo? Triple G didn't get invited in the ring. He walked his ass in there. Why couldn't Benavidez do the same? Duck emojis. Look at Benavidez. He's straight up light heavyweight. He outgrew that super middleweight division. He got to move on. Canelo's definitely the best in avoiding a 3-year mandatory like he have done. Is unmatched. Bro, what are the pay-per-view numbers for Haney Garcia? We know you know him. I don't know, man. I might not. Angel Flores, Ocha. Here's a good take. Canelo low-key hates De La Hoya because he knows De La Hoya had the superior career. Too Honest, what up, Too Honest, man? What it do, man? Appreciate you coming back. Appreciate you engaging with the audience. As always, man. Appreciate you coming in. Simon says Canelo versus Oscar De La Hoya, both in their prime. Condolences to Canelo's family. Rose Park, they both were there. Okay, so Rose was confirming Marquez and I think Morales was both there. But versus Canelo in December, what weight Bud shouldn't have to lose leverage to fight to the fighter with a blemished record? Come on, man, the numbers never coming out. GM really wants these numbers. Bro, Canelo asking Benavidez to ring. Canelo asking Benavidez to the ring made him even more of a clown. The guy playing after Benavidez moved up, and then he's calling him out. I'm gonna ask you every live, bro. Rose Park. Canelo knows Benavidez will weigh in 200 pounds fight night. Barrero was there. I heard Canelo not letting Morales Marquez fight because they speak the truth on him. Everyone knows Canelo likes softball questions. Morales was part of the team commentators that was at the fight. $2 super chat. Daniel Navarrete says, ask David if he considers suing the WBC for corruption. Oof. I don't know if he's going to answer that. I'm going to be honest. He still wants to be in the good graces, right? Can't piss off the sanctioning bodies too, right? But we'll see, right? If it gets too much. Let's be honest. Canelo was a monster, but he is ruining his reputation by avoiding Benavidez. The world wants to see it. Bud will grill them all, but don't duck shit. So why is Benavidez so shady? Fake $55 million offer. Said Team Canelo disappeared, but is fighting Goshchek, who was managed by Eddie Reynoso. I don't know if that's 100,000% sure because I asked Benavidez Sr. on that, but you know, it's boxing, right? Canelo might be crafty. My honest opinion, I think he fought Jaime to give him the opportunity to share the ring with him and grow from the experience. I think he had the opportunity to KO Jaime, but let it off because he's Mexican. Why is everyone who has a chance of beating Canelo let off the gas and don't keep the pressure? If Canelo let Munguia win and Munguia learns that as a man, Munguia trains, rematches, goes glass cannon on him. Mayweather channel, please tell me how Tank punked Devin. We're going to get into that segment. Jimbo has a team that didn't disappear, only Canelo did. Devin's hiding behind a car. After the knockdown, he looked at Jaime and gave him a head nod, almost like asking, you good? And Jaime returned a nod and then looked at the ref. To me, it looked like Canelo was talking to Jaime in the ring, too. Ryan used banned substance from Canelo. It looks like Canelo didn't try to finish Munguia because he didn't want to gas out. Spence will murk Canelo. Canelo already said it. He can do what he wants. That's the PC way. Say I'm done. I refuse to lose to the monster. Bro, Bud ain't hurting Canelo. Canelo will hurt Bud. All these Canelo haters would say Canelo was too big for Bud after his wins, but yet don't see Benavidez the same. Boost is the next real deal. Canelo versus Benavidez matches or surpasses the top Triple G pay-per-view buys. Bro, Terrence would put Canelo on a stretcher. Bro got that iron chin. Bud is not the same fighter against Calvo. Oh, what? I don't know who that. They were pointing. I think so. I mean, you can slam your head on the keyboard, and that might look like Mean Machine's last name. Marcos Chaz. They're reporting Canelo did 900,000 pay-per-views by Munguia. I didn't see that, but damn $1 million. I don't know. That's bigger than Spencer Crawford. I think Canelo Benavidez would be bigger than Spencer Crawford. Benavidez flip flop, Bud leg, Ayo chill, and all right. So I'm gonna cut at this segment because I know there's a lot, right? And if there's stuff that you want me to read, just retype it in. And I'm just gonna skim past because we won't ever move on the way that the chat is moving. So appreciate you guys understanding, being patient. Just kind of part of the segment, so we just have to move on. So the other segment, right? Gervonta Davis has been on a whirlwind, right? Like Gervonta Davis, we went to the press conference. I mean, what a press conference, right? Frank Martin, Gervonta, they put on a show, right? Gervonta was definitely showing his fun side, right, to the media and to the world. Poking fun at Derek James, having a great time of just confrontation, right? Always getting fighters' face, always trying to punk them, always being the bully, always mental warfare, trash talking, kind of letting them know like you ain't never been part of this type of big fight and magnitude and, you know, the traditional big fight hypes. So what do you think? Do you feel that right now Gervonta is just in promotion mode? You think Gervonta just loading up the gun and just emptying the clip on everyone? Boom, Devin Haney, I'm your city. Boom, Frank, you ain't want that smoke. Like, is that just what time Gervonta is? Like, is it just, You know, Gervonta just coming out his show. What do you think, Kevin? You were there at that press conference with me.
Yeah, no. Gervonta was on one. He was on one from the moment he touched the stage. I think it's a little bit of Gervonta being Gervonta, right? He's definitely like a passionate kind of person, right? When he's upset, you're gonna feel it. And he's I just think it's been a year. It's been a year since he fought, right? He's got a lot built up. A lot has happened since that year. You know, Gervonta unfortunately had to do a little time, right? He house arrest, that fiasco, purchased that house in or those buildings in his hometown that eventually got burned down. You know, there's a lot of shit happening with Gervonta over this last year. And I think he's just ready to take all that shit out on somebody. And that somebody is going to be Frank Martin, and the way he feels about it, he's going to go in there and hurt him. But at the same time, you know, he's rolling with the can man, and I think it's rubbing off on him, right? He's with AB, and he's got some of that anybody can get it energy right now, and that's what he's on. So if you are Gervonta Davis out, I would say steer clear, go the other way, because he's with all the bullshit right now. And that's how he was acting on that stage. And yeah, anybody, Derrick James, you could get it. Frank Martin, you could get it. I mean, I'm happy Gvozdyk didn't say anything because he might have came at him. You know, like he was there to let you know he's planning to show up to do some damage next month, and we're all here for it. And obviously that carried over, right? Even after I mean, look, I saw Claressa Friday night walking into
Yeah, you interviewed her, you know. And
I interviewed Claressa. She was walking into the MGM Grand on Friday night, and you know, I asked her about a bunch of stuff that was relevant, but I also asked her about her and Tank, and you know, she definitely let me know. I said any message, and her message was fuck Tank, and I think Tank feels the same way about her and a lot of other people, and he's just taking names right now. You know, I mean, he might have been joking. He was probably just trolling a little bit. But I even saw him say when they asked him about those 6 or 7 opponents, he was talking about Floyd Mayweather, right? Even though we all know that's not going to happen, right? But I'm just saying, like, he's all the way out there on a limb right now, and I don't think it's uncontrolled energy either. Just to be clear, I didn't see him as like somebody who's just like going nuts. I can't wait to know what you're laughing at. I didn't see him as somebody who.
It's just Broner and Tank. It's Broner and Tank when he pulled Broner up. And then they're like, yeah, it's just, they're just fun, man.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. It was a good time. But yeah, man, he doesn't seem like uncontrolled, just to be clear. He doesn't seem like somebody who's like off his rocker. He seems like somebody who's just with the bullshit. But he's also building the fight up, and you got to respect that. Like, he went up there and he slapped Frank's hand and shit, stepped right to him like you would expect Tank to do. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, you know, and he did well at it. You know, he definitely, I think, excited the fan base for that fight next month, because most people, hardcore fans, are going to tell you Frank doesn't have a shot, right? But you watch that press conference, and Frank, even though he's not the same vocally, he doesn't have the same mouthpiece, he doesn't talk shit the same way, he seemed focused too. Like, he's ready to go in there and make his own statement. What that is, we don't know. Right, we'll see when the fight happens, but yeah, Tank was on one. He was on some shit.
Man, I love Tank's energy. I'm gonna say it right here. I love this version of Tank, right? You know, everyone always talks about, oh, you know, press conferences are boring. You know, people don't show their personality when they do these interviews. They give these vanilla answers. I fucks with this version of Gervonta Tank Davis, which, to be fair, isn't this version of Gervonta Davis. Cover a lot of his fights. This is really who Gervonta is, right? This is his personality. He gives glimpses of it, little moments. He's a very funny guy. Like, I think Tank is absolutely hilarious, right? You know, the tweet and delete stuff, I know has been very annoying for a lot of people, but there's strategy. There's something to the madness with that. And, you know, Gervonta definitely has his own comfort level that's starting to shine. I saw someone in the chat mention that Tank is taking a little bit out of Ryan Garcia's page, which I want to pull it up so I can highlight you up on here. But I just really, really like this entertaining version of Gervonta, you know? And I hate to kind of put it in this category of like, oh, we like controversy and you know, and it's ridiculous that, you know, things like that will bring this type of entertainment. This is so whatever, but this is fighting. Like, fighting, we want to see a little trash talk, and we want to see a little energy. We want to see all that type of stuff. And personally, Tank is shining right now. I think Tank has been on the trending page with a couple interviews. I think my boy Najee on Cigar Talk. I think Gillian Wallow. I mean,
that Cigar Talk one going up. I've seen that everywhere.
So like Tank is the guy right now, and clearly he's showing that he can entertain. I think there's some footage after the scrum. He runs over to When You're At by Frank Martin, and I'll play the clip of it. But Tank.
Before you play that, you got a couple good comments in here.
Really yeah, go ahead.
Rossetti, he did slap Frank. Now, where that slap landed is a whole nother story, right? It means Frank gets slapped in the face, but he definitely did. If you watch,
he slapped him. Like, yeah, if you want to say slapped him on a wrist, because this is what Frank did. Frank did a kind of a gun, like kind of like, I'm gonna get you, and then boom, slapped it, right?
You definitely slapped him.
So trust me, man.
Man in Water. So how does this channel have almost 2 million subs but only 100 people in the stream? People hop on at different times. I know recently Ron did a recap of Devin and Ryan, and we had 1.5 join that one, 1.5 mil.
Man, it's a Monday, and you
gotta work. Look, Man in Water.
There's so many things, like the fact that, and this is me being genuinely honestly respectful, right? This is no like you guys taking the time. It depends on the East Coast or West Coast. If it's 10:19 and you're on the East Coast and you want to chill in a FightHype live with two dudes who was at the fight talking about it, right? And stuff like that, then we really appreciate you just being in here, right? Sometimes certain topics, I think when I did the round by round with Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, there was like 40,000 people in this live, and it did 1.5 million overall. So really, when it comes down to it, it's just you guys are the ones that wanted to come and fuck with us today on a Monday, on a slow day of essentially boxing, because everyone already kind of gotten over the Canelo stuff. So really, you guys are the heroes. So that's why. So you're one of the people who came in here to support. So really, we just appreciate every single one of you guys. So that's really why. So, what do you say? My man said,
Ross
said, it's cool, man. I love the smoke, man. That's what we here for, right? Man, get out of here. Why didn't you put hand on the title? Y'all was clout chasing, like I said. Y'all can't play on me. Hey, man, look, at the end of the day, we got to make the title spicy, man. Because if you don't click and you don't watch, you don't know, right? So
you don't like your food bland, do you, Rossetti?
It's promoted. And really, at the end of the day, if someone got slapped on the hand, well, you got to watch it to see if it was in the hand or the face, right? So, but we will never know, but you don't get what I'm saying. No, man, this is headlines. Headlines 101.
He's talking about something else.
Oh, okay. It's just headlines 101, man. Headlines 101, right? Got to spice it up a little bit, right? So, but I respect it. I respect your guys' honesty too, really, at the end of the day, right? So, really, that's just really what it comes down. But going into the Tank and the shits, right? He wanted all the I'm gonna play a little bit right here.
Now he said he retired, right? Do you think that will be lasting damage to Devin Haney? What happened against Ryan Garcia? Tank?
Yeah.
Tank, right? You said
Are you against Haney? I want to go this way though.
What you playing on the slap?
Nah, I'm not playing the slap. I'm just showing Tank having some fun, man. When he came over to your side.
Hey. Oh yeah. Oh, but he's giving out the box.
Hey.
Tank says go this way, that's where the word
Tank, your opponent.
Said what?
Anything you got to do.
Way like he kind of runs over there.
That's where you're going to fuck up at.
Silly bully though. Because he definitely.
You feel like he underestimating you? Look at that.
It don't matter.
Look at that. You feel like he's underestimating
Oh,
you?
fuck yeah, he is. That's the problem. He said
he started when he was 7 and I was 15. First of all, he said he started when he ain't no round. Ain't no round.
Gervonta, please picture for me. Please. What did you get behind him?
You trying to work, bro. You trying to work. You over here trying to.
My man.
Well, they got it. They got us still over here for it. But after the 15th, nigga, I'm running shit. After the 15th, I'm running shit. After the 15th, I'm running shit. I promise you that. I promise you that. I promise you that. I'm gonna take all this shit. I'm gonna take all this shit. I'm gonna take all this shit. Watch. Hey, I'm taking all this shit. I'm taking all this shit. So all this shit you talking about, bro, you're gonna be real fucking sad, nigga. You're gonna be real sad. You're gonna be real sad. You're gonna be real sad. I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that.
Look at his face, bro.
I don't need none of that.
You wouldn't look at his face.
I don't need none of that.
Look at his face.
Look at his face. Crazy little motherfucker. Crazy little motherfucker. You crazy. You think I'm scared, nigga?
You're not from Detroit. You from the suburbs, nigga.
Okay.
From the suburbs, nigga. My shit.
After we fight, ain't none of that shit. Ain't none of that shit happen. Nigga, after we fight, nigga.
This is my shit.
After we fight, ain't none of that shit happen.
Come on.
Are you on mute, Ron?
I am muted, but yeah, Tank was definitely on one. Like he's definitely. Let's see. And I'm gonna load up the altercation with him and Devin coming up right here. All right, so just real quick, just recapping. Tank just it's that time. He just wanted to put everyone on the spot. You know, talking about Floyd. He talking about Frank, which I appreciate. Frank sitting there, standing on his own, man. You know, Frank didn't back down at all. And then sure enough, Tank rose up in the fountain blue. I don't know if this was premeditated. I don't know if they accidentally ran into each other, but you can see Tank has found his way to Devin Haney in Las Vegas, and you know, a whole bunch of shit went down. So, what do you think, Kev? What do you think about all the Tank shenanigans with him and Frank, and even this clip with Devin? All right.
The Frank stuff, I look at it like promo. You could tell when two people really don't like each other, right? When there's actual like potential for like a violent outburst or something like that. Nah, I didn't see that. Honestly, I saw a dude who was promoting. You know, he was getting gangster, like Tank gets gangster sometimes. And, you know, he slapped his hand away and he was talking a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, even in that little scrum that they did side by side, so that happened, you know, as you guys all saw it. But they were right there, right? Like you saw on the video. They were talking. If it was really something that serious, I don't think they could have been that close to one another. After that, there's a picture of, and this is way after all that stuff happened, but before the Canelo fight, there's the picture of Gilly, Wallow, Derek, Coach Calvin, Frank, and Tank all together. So they were able to be in the same spaces when it really mattered and keep the business rolling and keep the promo going. So I thought it was all in good fun. I mean, Tank's going to be aggressive. That's who he is. But like you said, Frank also did really well at holding his own and asserting himself. And giving you like some slight belief. Look, I would never ever say a fighter has zero chance because you don't know. Now you can say what's more likely to happen, and the most likely thing is that Tank ends up beating Frank, probably by KO or something like that, right? But Frank, whatever small percentage it was, he gave you some reason to believe that he's coming to bring the fight, and hopefully that's the case. We'll figure it out on June 15th. The Devin stuff, nah, that looks like there's a lot of vitriol there. There's a lot of smoke, and Tank wants it. And I think it's a lot of just the, like, you know, all the shit over the years about, you know, Devin alluding to their past fight or sparring, and even his ability to beat Tank, and, you know, stylistically how he's said that he'd be a tough matchup for Tank. I think Tank just took note of all that, and then, you know, he's on his tour, and he's on the Anybody Can't Get It tour. And Devin's the number one contestant after Frank Martin is what it appears like. Like he's on Devin's ass, and he showed you that because he pulled up. I don't think it was fake promo or silliness. I don't know how he figured it out. I don't know if it was happenstance, but he sure as hell figured out where Devin was, and he was verbally at least, right? Look, Tank, I think is smart enough at this point to not do anything stupid. I don't think he's gonna run up. You know, this isn't like Mike Tyson and Mitch Green or whatever. Like he ain't about to two-piece Devin in front of the Fountain Blue. I don't think that's the case. But I think he's gonna go put that energy on him, right? Make him feel his presence when and wherever he can. And that's what he did. Did he punk him? I don't know. Devin didn't get out the car, so I guess if you're looking at it from that sense, then maybe. But he definitely invaded his space in his city and was assaulting him verbally for a hot minute, right? So depends how you look at that, right? You, the viewer. Me, I look at it like they did the smart thing, both of them. Tank was Tank, and Devin didn't jump out of his character, but he was talking shit. He was sure talking shit. They were going at it. What do you think? You think he got punk, Ron?
Well, before I say anything, like I said, Super Chat takes prior to everything. Daniel Navarre says Tank was antagonizing Frank to get in his head, obviously. In addition, another $2 Super Chat from the Super Chat King himself. Slapping, not promoting. Bruh, that's disrespectful. So just to comment on those two, I do think Tank is now at a point of just psychologically trying to create type of some sort of doubt, right? He pushed Rolly in the weigh-in, he shoves Pitbull, the altercation with Bernard Hopkins at the Ryan Garcia press conference. You see a trend, right? So even though that Frank didn't touch him, I think Jervonta's on that same energy, right? Kind of like, I'm going to try to piss you off. And, slapping, touching anyone is a sense of disrespectful. But I think from Frank Martin, as a person who, he's not fazed by it. I don't think he's intimidated by it. I think it ends up becoming promoting because, like you mentioned, they went in a room, they did a sit-down with Gilly and Wallow. They were essentially cordial. It was not really bad blood. It's just the energy is there. And I think just Tank is on that time. When it comes to Tank and Devin, right? I know, like I said, you got to spice up the headlines. You got to get things kind of a little sauced up, right? The perception on social media is a lot of people feel that Tank came in his town. There's other clips of him saying, I'm on your side. He's taking pictures next to his car, almost trying to violate Devin. Like, kind of more like I could touch your stuff and you can't do nothing about it. And he's posing that like I'm trying to punk you. Even in this little clip, which doesn't tell the whole story, right? This does not tell the whole story. You just see a glimpse. For all we know, Devin could have been in his face for the longest time, and they finally separated. And then this is at a point where Devin's like, all right, I'm out of here. So this doesn't truly, this clip doesn't tell the true story, but I do know that Tank is coming to want to disrespect, trying to punk Devin. Devin is not looking for Tank. Not saying that Devin ain't with the shits either, right? Not saying that Devin, Devin, like, man, what's up, Devin wanted to fight Tank, right? So I'm not saying that Devin doesn't have the energy to essentially combat in Tank, but we know that Tank is here on some, it's my time, I'm in your city, you know what it is, gang, we having fun, what's up, you ain't gonna do nothing, what you gonna do? And kind of trying to provoke. And I think because Devin gets in his car and takes just like, man, I'm out of this shit. That's kind of like what the fans feel is punk, right? What do you guys think? Do you feel like Tank coming up to Devin right now, chat? Is he punking Devin? Like, is Tank coming in his town, taking a picture of his car? Is that Tank Davis being just Tank? Or is that Tank really rattling Devin, right? So...
and just to address Daniel for the super chat, appreciate you. So I don't know, Daniel, think about it though, right? You're right. Like if it's me, yeah, I feel disrespected. I don't want anybody slapping me, but as a fan, right, you're sitting there watching it. There is a level of promotion to that, right? So it builds, right? Whether that's good or bad, it definitely draws eyeballs in, and it intensifies the heat around the promotion a little bit. But I feel it definitely was disrespectful, and I hope Frank took it that way, and it motivates him to bring everything he's got and give Tank a good fight or possibly shock him, right? But yeah, I think that's like Ron was just saying. I think that's Tank's way of kind of doing this, right? He's showing you time and time again that whoever he fights, he's going to bring that energy to them at the promos, in the build-up. So it's interesting stuff. We'll see.
Ross said, he says, where's Devin ducking at? Everybody's just screaming, right? He's like, what? This is a whole bunch of screaming going on, right? I think that's what I'm reading, right? Simon says, Gervonta just happy to be back after going to jail and some personal problems. That's why he's hyped up. That's not zesty, but good that he left that purse at home. Ross said, he says, man, Tank was locked up for 1 damn month. That's not no damn time. He wasn't in prison. Alex Rodriguez says, ain't nobody wants or cares about Haney no more or wants to pay to see him. Julio Chavez and Benavidez would be a real Mexican war. Angel Flores says, Haney's going to backpedal for a few months. He would need better help. Devin Haney looks like that Homer Simpson meme when he's by the Greenleaf fence, disappears and comes back out repping the other team. Angel said, yo, Pitbull is the closest one to get to Tank. The dude has become a bigger name. Tank and rank and champion since that narrow loss. Usually a loss won't launch a fella. Says a lot. I mean, it also says a lot about Tank, right? What he can do, win or lose against them, right? Nobody wants to see no more for a Devin matchup. Joseph says, no, it's just selling the fight more, all right? Major Media says, using Devin. Devin's name for promo, just like they use Tank's name for promo. Oh, okay, that's interesting, right? And then, let's see. Oh, yeah. Devin, the Homer Simpson meme, disappearing to the Greenleaf fence. That's funny. And then it says, the way that you asked that question implies that you disagree. Devin is the one who should have used the banned substance. Damn. I don't think no one should use banned substance on the real. And if they do, then they all should be juiced up, right? So, just kind of coming through this whole entire like wrap up, because I know it's probably like 10:30. I know my man Kevin can't. I know he can, but we got a lot of stuff to do throughout the week. What you got? Some stuff you're covering too this week, right? You got
Yeah, next Monday we have a press conference. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. That should be interesting. Looking to see what the undercard looks like. We got Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor on that card. So that's a rematch that I know a lot of people are interested in. Irish fan bases, Puerto Rican fan bases are crazy, so that should be a good fight. But yeah, we have that coming up, and then of course we got a bunch of stuff happening in June. So, but no, we're good, man. We can wrap up on whatever you want to talk about before we get out of here. I mean, Inoue, Neri, that was an interesting fight. We can talk about that. I was watching the live that you did this morning, Ron, when that fight was going on.
Yo, that Inoue
like
fight
3 a.m. your time.
Oh man, it was. I almost.
Man, Ron, some kudos, bro. This guy was up at 3 a.m.
I almost fell asleep to that, man. But you were up too, man. You were up. I mean, we're diehard boxing fans, so we gotta watch it. I mean, I think obviously Inoue is one of those dudes you can clearly see that he's extremely talented, and I think just he needs, an opponent to match his hype, right? And your hype is only as good unless you fight someone who's equally as hype, right? And I think today's like a prime example, right? Canelo versus David Benavidez is a fight that's built up as a huge fight simply off the hype of 2 guys. You got a guy who has proven to be this Hall of Fame, multi-division Mexican warrior champion who's probably going to go in the Hall of Fame, and he's all that in a bag of chips. And then you got the hype of an opponent who's just running through the opponents that Canelo didn't fight. Or if he did, he stepped on them, made it look violent. And in that sense, his attention that he's got from the public creates this great allure that they must fight each other, right? And regardless if David is really this guy or not, it's built up as a must-watch fight. And that's the thing about Inoue. He is doing his part, but someone else on the other side needs to do his part, or kind of matching. So until he meets that kind of kind of opponent. I think he's going to get praised and discredited equally because of that kind of effect. Right?
Does he need to move up? Does he need to fight in the States?
Well, look, I'm not the guy who's like, hey, you have to come to the States. Because if you fill out a Tokyo Dome with 55,000 people in there, right? And the opponents that he's facing clearly would have never did that, right? Like, Neri has never headlined a main event, which brought up tons of people in America. Stephen Fulton, when he unified with Brandon Figueroa in Vegas, never brought that type of attention. I mean, shit. Fucking Donaire, when he fought Rigondeaux, was in the Radio City Hall in New York. I mean, it's almost like, duh, these guys have to fight Inoue in Japan, right? And that's really what it is. I know there's speculations about drug, you know, and all those type of conspiracies, right? Because it's not proven true at the moment. But so people want to come in America. But as you can see, you can fight on PEDs, right? Or allegedly, like Ryan Garcia can get in the ring. So it doesn't mean like America's this place where you can prevent fights from happening like that. And so I do think that it doesn't really matter where it's at. Rumble in the Jungle happened in the Philippines, but it was two people who had 1-1 arch enemies, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and everyone just wanted to see that fight. They could have been on the moon, right?
Thriller Manila.
Oh yeah. I keep saying. Well, okay. Another thing. Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah. Thriller Manila, Philippines. Rumble in the Jungle. George Foreman, Africa. Like,
before somebody kills you in the comments, Ron, I got you, my boy.
No. I mean, yeah. I appreciate it because I know there's gonna be this motherfucking. I knew he was a Dougie Fisher bootleg clone, like, you know, fake ass motherfucker got.
I don't know shit about boxing.
But you know, it's I think that's what it is. And I think Inoue today created a lot of attention, right? Because my boy Jay Daniels in the chat said Inoue got his ass dropped, right? And so it happens in boxing. You know, a guy like Luis Neri was able to drop him. So he looks human, right? He bleeds like us, right? Essentially. But right when he got up, he whooped his ass.
Damn,
right?
Did he?
Yeah. See my boy Jay. You mean Thriller in Manila, right? See, my man. See, look, he already came in. I kept I kept saying it wrong. I'm just in the moment, but exactly, right? Thriller in Manila. But that's what I'm saying. Really, at the end of the day, we just want to see even match fights, right? Right? We just want to see, Squid Ink, Doug Fisher 2.0, right? I can joke on myself too, right? But what I'm saying is that we just want equally matched fights, right? We just want to see great match fights where that upsets, quote unquote, happen more often. The people who we thought would win doesn't win. And I don't think Inoue right now, he might have those type of opponents floating around, but they're not the marketable names that the public cares about, right? So boxing is really one of those fights where not only the fact that you are good, but you have to capture the audience's imagination, right? And that's why we hear Tank and Shakur. I want to see Tank versus Shakur heavily, because not only the fact that these two guys constantly have shown solid performances. I know Shakur's coming off a lackluster one, but it's fine. But these guys consistently, for the most part, have shown consistent domination. And because of that, the imagination, the market is there. We want to see these two guys face each other, right? Crawford and Spence was built the same way. Tyson Fury and Usyk, and Beterbiev and Bivol, and David Benavidez and Canelo. Inoue, when you think of Inoue, who do you want to see Inoue fight? Like, that's fair, right? Because everyone says Tank, right? Because Tank is the closest marketable name, right? That you can.
I don't know that he's gonna be in the weight class, or he's long for the weight class, and I don't know. Maybe it's the Brooklyn in me, right? But I'd love to see Shushu develop a little bit more, right? Take some belts at 126, and see something like that. But Shushu's got a ways. But maybe that gives time to Inoue to beat up a couple more guys at 122 pounds and let it build. I mean, there are champions there now, like Raymond Ford. I mean, is it the most interesting fight? No, but it's a great fight. Look at what Raymond Ford did his last fight, right?
But that's the thing. Are those the fights that's gonna make Inoue leave a 55,000 filled Tokyo Dome to come to America, and that's the thing. They're an opposition.
I feel you. I mean, because what's his ceiling like? I don't know. I think if he goes to 126, that's the stretch. That's it. I can't see him at 130 or even a $135 like that. I don't know, but I feel like he has one more climb yet, and it'll be interesting to see him at 126, but to see some of the people at 126 develop a little bit more, or see some of those prospects really take their seat, get some belts, build some rep. But I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, it's interesting.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. That's the thing that holds Inoue back, right? It's the lack of like name recognition in his opponents. I also think not speaking English at all. I think that holds him back in our market. Maybe not in his own market, but in the U.S. market, it's tough. It's tough. Like I remember when Loma didn't speak a lick of English, and then he started trying. You know, got a little bit more interesting. Canelo, same thing. You know, like Triple G. You know, big drama show. Anything. Like I've never heard Inoue attempt anything that route, and I think that would help too. I think there's a lot to it, but Inoue is like he's a gem to be hidden away.
I get what you're saying, right? And you know, let's just say hypothetically Inoue didn't speak any English, right? And I see the chat too, and I agree. I think the Tank and Inoue shit is by far extremely far-fetched. I would not want to see that fight. Would you agree? So we don't want to see Tank versus Inoue simply because of the fact that we know weight classes matter, right? Skill for skill, it's awesome. It's a dream fight.
Who was my boy? Rigondeaux, right? Remember when he went up? Loma schooled that ass. Yeah. And I love Rigondeaux. Just you can't do that. It's not a good look.
Absolutely. And it's just so and I think you put a great way of expressing it. The name recognition, right? You know, regardless if these guys are good or not that he's facing, right? There's always going to be scrutiny because they don't have that market name, right? That was kind of what Terrence Crawford was going through, right? You know, a lot of people recognize Arrow's opponents on paper, right? Because they have been in bigger, more marketable, known fights, and they're more superstar fighters, opposed to like Mean Machine, right? Danny Garcia, you know, Ugas off a Pacquiao win, Keith Thurman. I mean, not Keith Thurman. Kell Brook over in the UK when he took his belt. Like these are sexier names than Mean Machine.
No Diddy.
You know, yeah, no Diddy, right? You know, Mean Machine, Victor Postal. I mean, those names don't make the casual fans jump out of their seat, right? And luckily he was able to get the Sean Porter fight, which Earl got first. But, like, that's the problem. And so when Crawford, who was built up, and we know he was good, but didn't have that recognizable resume of names that people can separate, is this guy good or not? And so Inoue's kind of, I think, in that position. And if he gets an opponent, which kind of a hardcore fight was, the Stephen Fulton was kind of that hardcore fight. But Stephen Fulton still had to go over into Japan. He didn't have an American audience, or he didn't have a country behind him. He didn't have that type of splash where it demanded Inoue to come over. And because of that, Inoue's kind of in a stuck position where he's obviously good, but he doesn't have anyone to fight that gets the whole boxing casuals, right? Fans bought out, right? The hardcores know he's the truth. The hardcores know he's good, you know?
But I think that's a problem, like, outside of just Inoue. I think that's a divisional problem for those little guys, right? When you get like 122, 118, whatever it is, I think it's what 160 or 115 is the next one down. When you get into those weight classes, it's a little bit harder to drum up the interest. The little guys, you know, it's tougher for them. So Inoue is like a freaking superhero in that weight class, and he's showing you, right? He's like head and shoulders above the competition at his weight class. So maybe the next best thing for him to do, stay in Japan, don't speak any English, but move up a division, right? Like Inoue versus Ray Vargas, Inoue versus Raymond Ford. I can look at the prospect sheet.
Still ain't that
more interesting than Neri. And don't get me wrong, I love Neri. I think Neri's a dog. I'm just saying, like, on paper, you know, it ticks up a little bit, but it's still in the hardcore realm. You're right. You know that it breaks out into the casual space, which is, you know, a lot of hardcore boxing fans talk shit about casuals, but we need the casuals right? Because their interest keeps our sport alive when we have big events. So
Yeah, and I agree. But the thing is, and that's what I'm saying. There has to be like a cultural demand. The reason why Neri and I think Inoue was so big is because the storyline of Neri in Japan, right? That was a very.
Let me just sorry to interrupt you, Ron. Yo, MG, you just dropped in the chat. The real fights are in the 126-pound division. Okay, so besides who I mentioned, right? Because I named you, and I can name the other 2 champions that are there, but I gave you 2 champions: Raymond Ford, Ray Vargas. Who else at 126? Maybe I'm not thinking of them.
I mean, there's a lot of good fights. I mean, Figueroa, is a good fight.
Exactly.
Lopez is a good fight. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, right? I have the answer. I'm bullshitting. I'm just trying to not be the one just driving that conversation, because that's my point. There are people there that are more interesting than the people he's fighting.
No. But this was before. This is what I'm trying to tell you, though, right? This is what I'm trying to say. The storyline, right? The reason why you can bring 55,000 people in Japan, right, to watch this Neri fight, is that there's a storyline that transcends that culture. This man Neri was banned. Yeah. Listen, banned in Japan. He fought one of their countrymen. Was banned in Japan. He came in overweight and he failed a drug test and he hurt this fighter in Japan. So what did they do? They banned his ass. You cannot fight in Japan. But guess what they did? They opened up the floodgates. Why? Because they wanted Inoue to get redemption and revenge. Sweet revenge. So of course that doesn't transcend in the American culture, right? But they didn't care about that, because there's no one in America or in the UK or none of that shit that matches the storyline that they brought 55,000 people in the Tokyo Dome. The fight with Tapalas, they had a raffle. You could have had all the money. You ain't got the raffle ticket. You can't get the fight, baby. You can't come in here. That's what they created there, right? So certain fights don't transcend, right? And really, honestly, to tell you the truth, Neri, Raymond Ford, Lopez, they're all kind of the same in the American market. You can give all those fights together, and they won't do shit in America. They just won't. They just really don't. So why spend all this time when the opponents don't create that opposition?
You don't think Inoue coming on an American tour, fighting some of those guys that we talked about, generates interest here? I think it does.
Better than the Tokyo Dome? Better than the Tokyo Dome.
No, you're not. Inoue is not going to sell out like, any 55,000 seat stadiums here in America, like on his next fight. But I mean, like Inoue at the Garden, right? Versus
who?
Raymond Ford.
Inoue versus Raymond Ford is not going to sell out the Garden. No, look, man. Don't feed into the hardcoreness, right? That shit is not selling no damn Garden.
They'll do good in the Hulu Theater, and I understand.
Oh my God, you just brought my man from the Tokyo Dome to the motherfucking Hulu Theater.
But this is my point, though. This is my overall point. You got to take a step back sometimes to go forward. You got to take a step back sometimes.
You telling my man get out of the Tokyo Dome when they got fucking guitars and all type of shit.
Get it. It was lovely.
He was trending. He was trending on Twitter #1 at the 3 a.m. time. I know.
Bro,
it wasn't.
We don't care. Nobody in America wants to see that shit.
But that's what I'm trying to say. You bringing him in America just proved like no one cares. So he's gonna stay where they care. The only reason why
I think he could build his way up to that, Ron, in America, if he gets to the point where he come. Like I said, you might have to take a step back. Are you willing to do that? That's a whole nother thing. I get it, right? It goes back to like our Canelo conversation from earlier. When you're in charge and you're making the dough, right? It's a little different. It's easier for us to sit here and pontificate and say you should do this or do that. But bro, if you want to grow your star in America, I just feel like you got to come here at some point. And yes, you might not sell out AT&T Stadium right away, but take some good fights here, build your reputation here. Come bust some of these guys' ass over here if you can do it, right? And then let's see what happens, right?
Man, MJ got the best response. If you bring him over, he said Inoue in a co-main event, and that's facts. You got to put him on a co-main event of like Canelo versus David Benavidez, some shit that makes fucking sense. Because him coming over as a main event, and I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying, but why do you have to? Why do I have to come over and entertain? Because he spoke on this. Why do I have to come over and entertain and build myself in America when I'm the motherfucking man? I'm giving you guys the biggest payday. Fulton had to come to Japan to get his biggest payday. You had to come here. And the only way you got your biggest payday is to come to Japan. So granted, I think just someone needs, in the smaller weight classes, needs to come up, do their motherfucking thing. And yeah, maybe Inoue does need to come to America, and I agree. But coming from Tokyo Dome to Hulu Theater, my man, I'm gonna hit the end stream button. That's he couldn't even pay half his bills off that. If he was spending his normal amount of money from the Tokyo Dome type of shit and coming to Hulu Theater, I mean, what type of bills would he pay off that shit if he was living the life of the money he's making off the Tokyo Dome?
No, I get it, bro. I get it. It's like I said, it's easy to say that when you're not in the driver's seat. But if Inoue has, maybe he doesn't give a shit. Maybe Inoue just doesn't give. Maybe Inoue is like, yo, I'm planted. This flag is planted here, and you got to come here, and you got to fight me on my territory. And maybe that limits the fights he gets. But I feel like irrelevant to speaking some sort of. I really do believe he should learn like 3 or 4 words in English. I think it would go a long way, to put him in front of fight fans here. But besides that, even if he stood in Tokyo and he only ever spoke in Japanese, he's going to limit himself on potential opponents, and he should move up. I think he should go up in weight, and I think 126 is somewhere he could land and get better fights at. But are those fights going to be willing to go see him there? Maybe if there's a payday, right? Like, I'm sure Raymond Ford would get the biggest bag of his life going over there. I'm sure Ray Vargas would.
Everybody would get their biggest bag because there's no opponent underneath 135, right? And that's why people bring up Tank, which is extremely insanity.
No, that's
tanking it, but that's because he's the closest big name fight
for sure
around it, and that's what I'm saying. Inoue's in this limbo where, regardless of let's say he fought all these dudes in America, right? He still doesn't have an opponent. Like, he needs a contemporary. He needs the Ali Frazier. He needs the Spence Crawford, the Mayweather Pacquiao. And unfortunately, there's no one else down there that has captured people's imagination. That's the fight that I want Inoue to face. That's fair, right?
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get it. It's tough. You're absolutely right, because those are great fighters. Or let me rephrase it, not to say they aren't great, but it's a loose term. They're solid fighters. There are solid fighters there at 126 that he could face. But you're right. They're not Tank. Not in name recognition. Not in accolades just yet. So it's tough. He's in a catch-22, right? How the hell does he get out of it? We don't know.
He just don't. He just fight at the Tokyo Dome and just start just removing bans of people. So,
Daniel Navarrete super chat. He says, Inoue's gloves look loaded as fuck.
Yeah, loaded with a fist, right? I mean, look, I can't speculate. I know that, shout out, to Fulton's team. They're doing everything to try to rattle. But, hey, man, if you fight Inoue, man, you saw him get dropped by Neri. So he's human, man. He's human, right? He's a human being just like anyone else. But before we go, I think there's a couple people, I guess we'll segue off. I guess these are the 3 questions I'll ask you. And a very short kind of, who do you want to see Canelo face next? Or who do you think Canelo's going to face next? How would you rate Tank Frank's press conference 1 through 10? And lastly, do you have Inoue, where do you have Inoue in your pound for pound? Is he number 1, number 2, number 3, or you just don't care? So, 3 questions to wrap up.
Canelo's next opponent, if I'm a betting man, is going to be Edgar Berlanga. I don't see why Canelo, now if I'm Canelo, right? I don't see why that wouldn't be, because what are his other options aside from Benavidez, which we went into in depth? Probably not going to do the Benavidez fight. Jamal Charlo, right? Right now, is Jamal like in a situation where, I don't know. Jamal doesn't look like he's dedicated to boxing right now. I could be completely wrong. I am not there with him. I have no idea what he's doing day to day. Just doesn't feel that way. And I think a lot of people want to see Jamal versus Caleb anyway. They have unfinished business. So there's that. I think it's Edgar Berlanga. I think Mexico, Puerto Rico. They're going to sell it on that angle. I think the New York fight fans, the East Coast fight fans are going to support. And I think that, I honestly think, I don't know if it does a million, but I'm willing to say I think it would do more buys than his fight this past weekend. I think Edgar, and look, we have a video. Maybe you can pull it up. But we have that video of Edgar Berlanga in the hotel on Saturday. Edgar, better or worse, again, the verdict's still out on him as a boxer. I know some people will say he's limited, not enough movement, pretty flat-footed. Whatever your opinion is, I mean, we still haven't seen him with like a real fighter yet, right? So we don't know that, but we do know this: he's got some sort of draw. So I don't know. I think Berlanga would be the next opponent, honestly. Not because I want him to be. I think that's what's going to happen. What was the other question? The second one was,
how would you rate
the press
Tank and
conference?
Frank's 1 through 10?
Like a 7.5. 7.5 is pretty good. I think the thing that would have took it over the edge would have been like Frank talking some more shit. Even though it wasn't like he was silent, but you could definitely tell like Tank was the aggressor. He was bringing the smoke, and you know Frank was receptive for some of it. But that also, like I said, they got together after, so might have just been all build up, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. 7.5. I think the only thing that would have made it better was like maybe if Frank would have slapped him back or something.
And if you do pound for pound list, where do you put Inoue?
2.
Last question. 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
2. But still number 1 in my eyes.
Okay. So with me, I think Canelo, I agree, Berlanga seems like a safe bet, but Turkey's coming in with this money bag. And they're Mike Coverage out here reporting that he's trying to make Canelo versus Crawford. I know Canelo's not interested, but, you know, if the money talks, maybe I'll just play devil's advocate and just say maybe it might be Crawford, all right? I'll put that energy out there. It's a fight that is very high risk for Crawford, but it's a great payday for both, especially if they get some Turkey money. So we'll see. You know, I don't know how this Turkey stuff plays in factor too much, so I will only say Canelo and Crawford just because that gives me closer to believe that David and Canelo can happen if Canelo would beat Crawford. Just because now you get the sense that he's making these fights that you just don't think would ever happen. So I'll just play the optimistic side there. The Frank and Tank press conference, I'm going to go on a whim and give it like a 7.9 or 8. Just because I just like the energy that Tank's doing, the showboat and the laughing and stuff. Like I was highly entertained. I came away enjoying it. So, and then anyway, I got him at number 2. You know, a lot of people consider Inoue number 1 after today in the moment, but Terrence is still number 1. And I think Inoue is just a bad motherfucker, man. I think he's 1A, 1B-ish, and you can have it like that if you want. And yeah, and I think real quick, Ross said Tank wants y'all to forget about Shakur just like Devin, so he ain't gonna fight. Well, I'm gonna point this comment out. I need Tank versus Shakur. That's the only fight that I want to fucking see at that division. Nothing else matters. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think that is the fight at 135. That's it, man. Tank's aggressiveness versus and his power, but Tank's at IQ too. Let's not take that away from versus Shakur's IQ, right? Like that's just it would be a great fight. And I honestly don't have a pick. I don't even know how that fight goes because you could look at that a million ways. Like Shakur neutralizes him completely, or Tank just overpowers him with a big shot. Like you don't know. We got to see it. That's a great fight.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Rossetti. We'll Tank and Shakur. That's all I want to hear. Inoue number 1, Maxim. MJ Inoue number 1. Today's performance, Inoue gets number 1. Rip says Usyk 1, Bud 2, Inoue 3. Tank versus Shakur, Pitbull chance. I love all you guys' comments. All you guys make 100,000%. You guys are the greatest chat in the world. I know sometimes we can disagree, and I know that sometimes you guys come in here on some who made the fucking titles, man. But I really appreciate you guys coming and rocking with me and Kevin. Like we had a long week. You know, Kevin flew all the way out to Vegas to cover his fight, so please keep an eye out on him. He does a lot of great work. He works really hard for the platform. He's just one of these guys who just loves boxing as equally as you guys. He just has an opportunity to go out and talk to him. But trust me, he will ask a lot of the tough questions. He will try to deliver. And, yo, I really appreciate you just stopping on today. You know, late night, just for everyone to come in and just chat boxing with us. So.
Yeah, thanks everybody in the chat. My man Ron, appreciate you. Ron's that guy. Y'all know that, especially everybody who rocks with him on live. Ron also works really hard. We got to get creative sometimes. But like I said at the beginning of the chat, it's fight hype, not fight kumbaya. You don't like your food bland. Everybody needs a little adobo. We're going to sprinkle it on there from time to time. But you come on in, and we'll talk about it like we did today. So, for sure, appreciate you, Ron.
Absolutely. And please let them know what your social media is, because obviously, you know, the whole point of these is to have you guys engage with us, tell us what you like, what you don't like, right? You know, throw jabs at us, disagree, give us insight, because you guys might know stuff that we might not really even put in perspective. So this is really a great environment for you guys to even just educate us, because at the beginning of the stream, if you guys came in late, you guys educated on so much stuff about the whole David and Canelo stuff that we weren't privy to because we were at the fight. We didn't see the broadcast. So you guys really are instrumental to the knowledge of just not just everyone in the chat, but to us too. So where can they follow you on social media so that they can get in contact with you if they want to chat with you, or just say like, man, your fucking takes suck, bro, and I'm here to just continue this shit, man.
Bring it. Look, good, bad, and different. I appreciate it all. Definitely you can find me on Insta at the Puerto Rican Kid KG, and right here on FightHype. You know, just look for the videos, especially around fight week. More than likely, I'll be covering something or another. So you can find me there or on Insta. We got some great clips on there too. Some stuff that's maybe not even like, you know, FightHype, like I FightHype kind of content. You know, you like Drake and Kendrick, and you want to know what so and so thought and who's winning. That's the kind of stuff you'll find on my page too. So. Yeah, appreciate you all. Thank you for your time, and I'm sure we'll see each other again soon.
And for everyone who I didn't get a chance to fully read out the chat or post it up throughout, I appreciate you guys understanding, because, you know, we'll be here forever. So I'll make an effort on the next stream to really engage in the chat. Just had a bounce with my boy Kevin back and forth, so appreciate you guys understanding. If I didn't get to read it out or get to it, but like I always say, super chat takes priority. I'm not saying, you know, send money, but I will always make sure those will never get missed. So, but appreciate Angel, Alex, Raysetta, Rip Dip, C6 Mark, Angel, Maxim, Simon, MG, Charles, J-Man, A Rich G, Charles, who am I missing? Daniel Navarrete, the super chat king, Alex Rodriguez, Simon Learbeer, HCB Chemistry, Angel Flores Ocha, No Olivo, Who They Want to Be, Top Dog, Toya. There's so many of you guys. I just wanted to Pugilism. You're always in here rocking. Was it Too Hot or Two Shot? I forgot. My man's always in here too. Was it Jay Daniels? Bambino. So everyone who came in, if I didn't shout you out, like there's so many of you guys. Man in the Water, I know you threw a little shot, but Beat, Squid Ink Pasta, Crane Williams, like I appreciate all you guys. So the next stream, if you come in, you know, good or bad, man, you know where to find us. You know, if you don't like something, we ain't ducking no smoke, just come back in the next stream. So appreciate you guys as always. And we out. Peace. Let me get some outro music, right? What was that? Play my theme music? Play our superhero theme music?
You're talking to me? I don't hear you.
No. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hold on. I'm putting my theme. We're going to put a theme music.
For some reason, your audio keeps cutting out. You on mute?
Oh, I muted myself. I muted myself to you. Yeah.
Nah, you're good, bro.
All right. And where's the ending? I'm going to play my... Yeah. Got my superhero outro music, y'all. That's what we doing right here, right? That's what we doing, right? Appreciate you guys, man. You guys are the best chat on planet Earth, man. And don't stop being yourself. Talk all the shit when you come in here. We got thick skin.
Appreciate you too, Simon. Good looking.
Yeah, I just muted you, and I muted myself.